The joint you're making me watch today was a Spike Lee one, Inside Man 2006, Matthew Schwartz's choice. Do you have one word for Inside Man?
Stylish.
Jake?
Detailed.
I'm going to say it was clever.
Sure was.
Sure was. Inside Man 2006, Spike Lee on Netflix.
So, I'll.
So,
This is to me. I said this when I first saw it, and I'll say it again. It's the smartest bank robbery I've ever seen in a movie. Very, very smart the way they did it. Definitely.
Why? Because he built a wall and lived in there?
Yeah, that's pretty damn smart, man. No one really saw that coming. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I thought that was really cool. The whole thing about that and the fact that they took all the hostages, made them look the same. They would hang out with the hostages so that everyone would think that they were hostages. The whole thing of him trying to get the diamond for the war crimes was awesome. The whole little war crimes Nazi shit was dope. Definitely top 5 Spike Lee movie to me with Inside Man, 25th Hour, He Got Game, Malcolm X, and Summer of Sam. Those would be my top 5 Spike Lees. Cinematography was fucking epic. Some of the scenes of just people talking were the best shot I've ever seen, with the slow pushes, and especially the scene with Denzel and Jodie Foster when she goes into the bank and she's telling them what's going on. It literally starts as a wide shot and it moves slowly up until it ends where it's kind of just right over them. That was fucking awesome. The characters were interesting. I think that's one of Denzel's most interesting characters, as far as he's kind of always just like the leading guy who is kind of the run-of-the-mill guy, but this was cool with him being kind of a cop who was involved with some shit that he didn't want to be, with the whole money laundering thing that he was being accused of. I think this is Clive Owen's best role he ever had as far as movie. His character was awesome. He was perfect for it. I love the opening scene with him telling you what's happening in a way. I thought the interviews, when they're interviewing the people while the movie is still going from the beginning, when they're interviewing all the people in the bank, was very smart to do that in the beginning and not just the end, so that you get more of the story from their point of view and it keeps you guessing who's who. I like the way it was shot, the film stock. They used a couple different film stocks in this movie, which was dope. And one of the ones that was more evident was when they were doing the interviews. It was very, very, very noisy, and the color was super saturated. That was really dope. I think this is Spike Lee at the top of his game. Like I said, I think is one of his best films as far as filmmaking goes. He really, really pulled out all the stops with the filmmaking in general. Like the character, I thought. What's her name? Jodie Foster. This is probably my favorite character she's ever played. I like Jodie Foster, but
Jodie Foster.
But she was really good in it. She played. I
disagree. I thought she was terrible.
Really?
My least favorite part.
You thought her character was terrible, or you thought her acting?
Her character, and I just thought it was terrible. I hated her long monologues, so I hated that about that, and I hated her delivery of the long monologue. So I don't know if it was the writing or if it was her.
Yeah, I found it really interesting. I thought it was cool that that character was a woman as opposed to a man. I feel like it usually would be a man, that character.
She's just a boring character. I like that character, but she didn't do anything. I like the idea of her character, but she didn't do anything.
I mean, I guess.
I did feel like there was like a lot of weight on that character when it wasn't that much of an important character to the big picture. Like, I get like the point of the robbery was robbing the safe deposit box, but overall, when I was watching the movie, I was kind of almost thinking like, is Jodie Foster important to this thing at all? Because I really like, obviously, all the bank scenes and the Denzel scenes and everything surrounding the robbery. I liked all that, but when they cut to Jodie Foster shit, I was kind of like, I just want to go back to the bank.
Well, without the Jodie Foster shit, the whole other
yeah, the whole side story wouldn't have
of the Nazis thing would have been it would have been irrelevant. That's why I was there. She was kind of
right
in that.
For a while, I wasn't sure if it was going to be relevant because I couldn't remember, because I've seen this movie before, but it's probably been like at least 5 years, so I couldn't remember how that tied in. And
Yeah.
this time around, I was like, what the fuck is the point of her character? Because I didn't see the point for a while. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, like a lot of weight to her character. Like her scenes seemed very important. Like her monologue seemed very like heavy and like important, but really like she was just this person who worked for this Nazi.
Yeah, she wasn't saying really anything important at all.
Right. She was just being a magnificent cunt, which was the
which he called her.
which was the compliment.
Yeah. I think with every Spike Lee movie too, one of this accomplished is the way New York looks is awesome. He always paints New York in a really awesome way, and the whole melting pot of the different races and all different people in the movie was awesome. The whole thing with the run officer who almost got shot by the little kid, and that whole scene was really dope. I thought the thing about Jodie Foster and Christopher Plummer that was interesting is it's almost like these are people that we never will know. You know what I mean? They're kind of like Illuminati status type people. You know what I mean? I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because I did like how that played into like the overall like genius of the robbery, because the fact that they robbed something that didn't technically exist, or it wasn't like on the record. So like all that, like beyond what you were saying about like the dress and the stuff like that, there are the other little details like of that, and then like the fact that they had toy guns, like they couldn't be like accused of armed robbery. I don't know.
That's the thing.
But like I loved all those little details.
Everything they did was just so smart. It was just like they covered all their bases. Like that was what's awesome about it. I've seen a lot of bank robbery movies. This was definitely the smartest one I've ever seen as to how they pulled it off.
It was also kind of bullshit, a lot of it too, like with the IR lights just taking cameras out. What the hell was that about? That was kind of.
I didn't even think about that in the beginning, right? When they first walk in the bank.
Yeah, he puts up these like flashlights, and it knocks cameras out for some. I don't know the technology there. Yeah. So immediately I was like, oh, this bank robbery sucks.
Well, I think at least I think they said it like just fucked them up for like a few minutes.
Yeah,
it's just unrealistic. It's unrealistic though. I mean, it's clever, like I said in my one word, but you don't think they're gonna take dogs through that fucking place and sniff them out and through the wall? Like it's an unrealistic scenario. We would have never gotten away with it.
Well, maybe they wouldn't have dogs because they wouldn't have thought that someone was going to be behind a wall or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean,
because they did. Yeah, the police swept it. And I just didn't find anyone.
Yeah. You don't think they would have taken dogs through there when they know that there's the one guy that they've been talking to is not there?
Well, they didn't know that.
I guess they wouldn't have done it day of because he could have still been on the bus. But I guess when they didn't find him after a couple of days, yeah, that could have been a thing. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, I just think they would have been a little more thorough. It's clever, but unrealistic.
I really liked Willem Dafoe's character. I really liked his whole thing with Denzel. That was fun. I like cop and robber movies, and I thought this one was pretty fun. I thought it was good.
It was a good robbery, but I mean, I honestly thought the Nazi stuff was a little extra. I think I think that was unnecessary. Maybe that's why I think Jodie Foster's character was unnecessary.
Yeah, the robbery wouldn't have worked out the way they wanted to if that wasn't the thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't steal anything. They didn't take any money except for the safety deposit box.
But they could have done that robbery but they could have stolen money, or something. It could have been just a different story without. I don't know. I think the Nazi thing was just a little extra.
I think
it was added on too on Wikipedia, like when this was first given to like Ron Howard was one of the early guys to almost direct it. Like the Nazi part wasn't a part of it.
Interesting. I don't think Ron Howard would have been good for this movie at all.
It did seem added. Like it did just seem like this extra shit that they, like I said earlier, like it didn't seem, if they didn't even have that, it still would have been a great movie.
Jodie Foster just seemed added. I just didn't like her character at all.
Yeah, because if she was just like not in it, the movie would have been like 20 minutes shorter, and then it would have been.
The movie was about 15, 20 minutes, a little too long. I'll give it that. But I did like his character though, going through like, is he going to get caught for the money? Like because he really wanted to solve this thing, and the cops were kind of just like, I mean, no one's.
That was my favorite part is when the like his chief or whatever was like, whatever, just get rid of it.
Down my back. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
interesting.
because nothing was stolen. So
Yeah,
what can they do?
that
It was
whole
situation, but
that whole squib scene was pretty cool. Like that was dope. I liked how I remember seeing that movie the first time and I was like, damn, like as smart as these people are, I wonder why they would kill somebody. And then when you realize that they didn't, I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
yeah, that always seemed fake to me. I think at least it did the first time. I mean, I obviously knew the second time around that it was fake, but
Oh,
I
so
always
even
thought
the
that
first
was.
time you didn't think it was real?
I don't think I did think it was real.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but I think it looked like staged to me.
There's a point,
Yeah, I feel
think,
like just because of how meticulous he was making his plans sound, it's like, wow, like you were saying, why would he kill somebody?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's what was trying to throw people off. I think what's interesting too is that there's a scene like I think it's like an hour in to where one of the guys says that's a good shithole, and right there they basically give the whole thing away right there. So if you're paying attention, you kind of be like, oh shit, like I wonder why they a shithole. Is somebody gonna be in this room? You know what I mean? Seeing it this time, it's probably the third time I've seen the movie, and I was like, okay, I never noticed that before. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were definitely giving it away while they were doing it, which I thought was like that was another clever thing they did. They just like watching it again, I'm like, oh, okay, all that shit now makes sense, obviously, and I mean, you knew it going in, but like they told you the whole thing before it was over. Like he even said, like I'm gonna walk out the front door.
Yep.
Like we knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And Clive Owen said, "Pay attention." So
I liked the relationship between Denzel and his partner. I thought that was a cool one. Chikawel Okafor, ever say his name? I never pronounced his name right, but I thought they were awesome together. They were a good cop duo. I liked the way they operated.
Yeah, their interrogating people was awesome.
Yeah, the humor to that part was fun too. I thought the scene with the little kid and him in the safe was pretty cool, especially the way it was shot, just the slow dolly in and how he quoted 50 Cent and shit. I thought that was pretty funny. But that's Spike Lee, he's always making shit. He's always talking about racism and the whole polarity of things, which is in all his movies, which is always cool.
Get rich or die trying, yo.
Yeah, as my man 50 says, get rich or die trying.
I wish Willem Dafoe acted like he did in Boondock Saints when he was going over the scenes.
You mean just crazier?
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe was just like turned up a notch.
Yeah, screaming and dancing and put his headphones on.
Yeah, that would.
This Dafoe was pretty grounded.
Yeah. This is a pretty mellow Dafoe.
Yeah.
Pretty chill Billy.
I mean, I think even from the beginning, from even when the opening scene, you kind of know that there's more going on to this movie than just a regular bank robbery. Like, I think they were trying to show you that very quickly, whether you're not quite sure what it is. And then I know you guys don't like the whole subplot of the Nazi thing, but I think that's the most interesting part of the movie. I thought that was cool of how, like, she was talking about how she has a line in it where she's like, yeah, this guy's no different than all the owners of Fortune 500 companies or other banks in the world too. And I thought that's like whole Illuminati type thing too, which was fun.
I mean, I definitely liked how it tied into the ending and tied into the big picture. Like it made sense.
Yeah.
But I guess I just didn't care for the scenes while they happened with Foster and the other guy.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about Jodie Foster. Every time she was on screen, I wanted to turn it off.
I thought Denzel's style was pretty cool. Kind of like he looked like somebody being a film noir movie, like an old film noir detective with the hats and the baggy fucking jackets and shit like that.
Yeah. The movie was definitely noir-y. The music was super noir-y.
Yeah. Actually, the music in the beginning, I didn't remember it being like that, and then I was like, damn, I forgot the music is like this. It kind of took me
There's that Bollywood thing was different than everything else, but the beginning, the Bollywood type of thing.
Yeah. That's what took me out of it for a minute. I was like, what the hell?
That was different than everything else.
Yeah.
Music-wise, everything else was very jazzy. It's a jazz trumpeter that composed it. He did all of Spike Lee's movies. Not all of them, but he's done a lot of them. 25th Hour.
Yeah, 25th Hour was another one who's got a crazy soundtrack.
Super noir-y though.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the writer's IMDb because I think that's what I really obviously admired like the writing of this movie because how just intricate the plot was and everything like that. But I noticed one of the only other movies he came out with is called Righteous Kill.
Yeah, which is a terrible film.
Yeah, I've heard bad things, and
Yeah.
it's funny too because it has De Niro.
It's a dumb
Pacino,
fucking name.
which you would think would be great, but it also has 50 Cent. So that's an interesting coincidence there.
I feel like that's a movie where they just probably threw so much money at Pacino and De Niro that they couldn't say no to it, because I saw that movie and it was not a good movie.
But if this writer's, that's just surprising because I've heard that movie's really bad. I haven't seen it, but this writer really impressed me with this movie. So why would his next movie suck?
I think probably because Spike Lee was the defining factor of this movie. He just really made it really good. You know what I mean?
He said he spent like 5 years
I think I read
before he got the first screenplay of Inside Man, before like it was ready.
The writer did, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like traveling around and thinking of ways to rob banks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Righteous Kill was just rushed or something. They're like, okay, you did great on Inside Man. Just write this movie real quick.
What's Righteous Kill about? It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. The trailer looks great too. It's about two cops who are on the trail of a serial killer. And I mean, you gonna watch it, or you want me to ruin it for you right now?
Go ahead, ruin it. Spoiler alert for Righteous Kill.
They're on the trail of a serial killer, and to leave a little more emphasis on it, De Niro's kind of like the straight edge one, and Al Pacino's kind of like the little bit more rowdy one. And spoiler alert, Al Pacino ends up being the serial killer. He's a cop serial killer, killing people.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Damn, Jake didn't agree to have it spoiled.
Oh, you didn't? I didn't even say that. I'm sorry.
I know now. I don't know if I was ever going to get around to seeing it because I remember when it coming out, it looking dope. And then I remember hearing it was just awful. So I never saw it.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. And I mean, how can you not want to see a movie with Pacino and De Niro in it, you know?
I know, right? And 50 Cent.
Yeah, and 50
Cent. That's typical like buddy cop trope though, of like one straight man, one unhinged guy. And then, oh, wait, the unhinged guy becomes a serial killer?
Yeah.
What happens with
I think that's why Heat works so well, because they're opposite. Like one of them's a cop, one of them's a robber, but the unhinged one is the cop, and the one that's super meticulous is usually would be the cop. It's not, you know what I mean? Not meticulous, because robber
is a better bank robbery.
Yes. Well, it was more fun probably, but definitely wasn't smarter.
Only because that one fucking dude shot the dude right out the gate when they're getting in the cars.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't get caught coming out, they would have been cooler. But you know what happened? They got caught coming out.
Yeah,
what didn't happen in Inside Man?
Are you guys ruining another movie?
What?
Are you guys ruining another movie? What are you talking
Heist? About? Yeah, if you haven't seen Heist, go fuck yourself.
You ever seen Heat?
I mean, Heat. If you haven't seen Heat, go fuck yourself.
No, I've seen it. I just got confused of which movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Heat, go fuck yourself. I mean, come on. Everyone's got to see that movie. That's one of the best movies ever made.
Michael Mann.
Yeah, that's Michael Mann's best film.
My man.
I thought, what else did I write down? I mean, that's
Clive Owen's accent, American accent. That was stupid. I hated that.
Really? You thought it was bad? I didn't take it. I didn't.
Bad accent.
I noticed it.
Bad accent. Just be British.
What do you think? Do you think this or Children of Men? Which one was better?
Children of Men was way better than this.
Well, Children of Men is a better movie, but
Clive Owen, better role of Clive Owen.
Oh, no. I think Clive Owen's character is better in this, but Children of Men's a better movie.
Because these are easily his top two movies, right?
Clive Owen.
He's really good.
How is he good in this? He didn't exhibit any emotion at all. He was behind a mask most of the time.
He was clever, man. I liked him in this. I liked everything he was. The way he talked to me, it was just cool. He was I just like calculated villains. He's a really calculated villain, which was dope.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jeremy Irons in Die Hard with a Vengeance type of villain, you know? Just calculated, doesn't raise his voice, all that shit. And what I like about this movie is you're never quite sure what's happening. You're not sure why they're mingling with them. You have an idea of, oh well, I guess it's because they want everybody to look the same, which is what it was. But I remember when
it made sense 100%. Dress everyone up the same, that way they can't tell. There was no confusion about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's smart. That's a really
them going in and out of the room, confusing the people so the people never knew who was.
That was awesome.
All that shit was. I thought all that shit was smart. I liked it all.
The only other movie that I've seen that actually because Heat's a great movie, but I don't think the bank robbery is that smart. It's very simple. is Place Beyond the Pines, where Ryan Gosling would rob a bank, get on his fucking dirt bike, and then drive into a cube truck, and the cube truck would drive away. That's pretty damn smart too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But I think the intricacies, sorry, of this one was just super fucking smart.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite bank robbery movie.
Yeah, mine too. No doubt, this is mine. And it's a film noir movie. That's what's great about it too. It's noir.
It's too unrealistic.
Yeah, it's like heist meets noir.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like Usual Suspect meets Shawshank.
Usual Suspect is a great heist movie too. Is that a heist movie? I guess it is because they're stealing something.
I guess so.
That's a pretty great one. I didn't see that ending coming either when I first saw that movie, but I was pretty young when I saw it, so maybe that's why.
No, that was way more clever than this movie.
You hated this movie.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it as much as you guys did. I just thought the bank robbery was unrealistic, and you guys thought it was super awesome, and I think that's the difference.
But what about it is unrealistic besides for the dog sniffing?
The lights.
The lights.
They're knocking out the lights in the beginning. Yeah, I just think the outcome is an unrealistic outcome. He's not going to just. It's just unrealistic. Just building the wall in the room and what they put a fucking toilet, like, it's just unrealistic. How long was he in there?
I think a week.
They say it at the end. They say it at the end, like when his partners or whatever you want to call them are waiting in the car. They're like, it's probably gonna smell like shit after waiting in there for a week.
Yeah. And
who was in on it? Everyone was in on it?
No, so it was the old Jewish man,
the
one blonde or the one brunette chick with the big boobies, and then the one Armenian dude, and then the one white guy.
So the guy with the turban wasn't in on it?
Nah.
Or the Jewish or the old Jewish lady that was like, I'm not taking off my clothes.
No, the old Jewish man was in it, which I didn't remember until this viewing. I saw that coming. Like I knew for seeing the movie, I remember the brunette, I remember the two younger dudes, but I forgot about the old Jewish guy, and that was cool. And it made sense because it was he was the guy who was the jewel guy, I'm sure, the expert on the jewels. So that was fun. I liked how he gave Denzel one of the diamonds in the end too. That was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, so what, is he going to keep that? He's going to fucking keep the diamond?
I don't know. I think Denzel's
shouldn't.
He's a good cop, so I don't know if he will.
He definitely shouldn't. He's already been fucking accused of stealing money.
Exactly.
Now he's going to steal a diamond?
That's the thing. Like, they could make a whole sequel on this movie. Does Denzel keep it?
There is a sequel.
There is?
Yeah, it's like Inside Man with a Vengeance or something.
What's cool, though, is you can make a sequel. Like,
Inside Man Most Wanted 2019.
No, you're serious about that?
100%.
Denzel's gonna give it to his girl. That's what I
got out of it. They had Spike Lee was supposed to direct a sequel, but he couldn't get it funded.
Okay. See, that's the thing about that. Like, does Denzel keep it and give it to his wife, and he's like awesome, or is he a good cop and is like, I can't keep this? And does he start to go after Clive Owen? Does the whole thing with the whole Nazi thing keep going? Like, there was a lot of ways you can keep going with it. Like, that's what I like about this movie too. Is a lot more could happen. 2019,
Inside Man : Most Wanted. An NYPD hostage negotiator teams up with a federal agent to rescue dozens of tourists held hostage during a 10-hour siege of a U.S. Federal Reserve.
So it's like a remake in a shittier way, or what?
Sounds just like a shittier remake.
Yeah,
it's a sequel.
Shitty remake sequel.
But it's the same storyline.
It's a straight to VOD sequel.
Yeah, with none of the same characters.
None of the same characters. Story. Not the same
just
writer.
Sort of a similar storyline.
Not the same director.
Probably worse.
Yeah,
nobody in it that I recognize.
Maybe they have a really genius bank robbery idea, though.
Oh, Sven Rugrock.
Oh, Sven, my man.
He plays Bobby Jenkins.
Bobby Jenkins, my man.
Yo, if you have a character in your movie named Bobby Jenkins, assume I'm not going to watch it.
What's wrong with Bobby Jenkins?
It's dumb. It's a lazy name. It's like Tim Jones.
Tim Jones. You don't even think that's Tim Jones' real name.
That's a fake name if I've ever heard one. That dude's in relocation services or something.
There's no Bobby Jenkins. There's no Tim Jones.
So what? Oh, Jesus, I'm yelling here. What can we agree on? Jodie Foster sucked.
No, I don't agree on.
And Clive Owen's accent was terrible. Other than that, it was a good movie.
I think Jodie Foster's character was awesome. I think her character was my favorite character.
Oh,
I like that world. I've never met someone who does what she does. She literally just helps fucking rich people out of binds or something. You know what I mean? She has
she's like the wolf.
Yeah, she is like the wolf. You're right.
So you have met someone and someone way better. What if Harvey Keitel played her?
This is the thing. The wolf
would have been way better.
The situation that we saw him resolve was much lower of a situation. This situation was.
What are you talking about? It was murder.
Yeah, but this was Nazis, and the fact that this guy who owned the bank and a lot of things that probably affect that. The trickle down effect from that would have been much bigger.
What you worried about trickle down, dude? It was murder.
Yeah, but that was just a guy no one cared about, you know.
So who hired Clive?
Nobody. I think Clive did it. Yeah, actually, you're right. I don't know. How did Clive know about this? That's a thing too.
It seemed the implications were the old Jewish guy, but there was no.
There was.
I don't think there was anything that
he was.
I think Jewish. You said earlier that there was the Jewish guy that you somehow assumed was a jeweler. I don't know how he got to that.
Because when they were interrogating them, he told him that his nephew
was
works on the jeweler market. And he can get him a good. Yeah,
said, I can give you a number to my nephew. He didn't say he was a jeweler. He said his nephew was a jeweler.
There we go. Okay. Well, somehow I think the Jewish guy knew about the jewels.
Jewish?
That's all I got out of it. I don't think there was any hiring. I think Clive Owen maybe seemed to be the mastermind behind it, but I don't know.
Do you guys think that they pulled off other robberies before and after this, or do you think that this was one thing they did just because they knew they could do it? Like, were they professional thieves, or is this the one and done kind of thing?
They were definitely professionals.
Yeah, but do you think they did a lot of other shit, or just like they were just like
they almost had to? You don't just get a group of people together and be like, all right, we're gonna pull off a perfect robbery.
Have you seen Oceans 11, 12, and 13?
Nope.
Because that's what they do. They get a group of people together.
They get a group of professional con men together.
Yeah. All right.
So if that was the case, then yes, they were all robbers before.
Safe to assume these guys have a criminal background of some sort.
Maybe not the old Jewish guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of assumptions, a lot of implications going on here.
Well, the old Jewish guy was just in there, even though he may have been a part of it. He wasn't like a part of the actual robbery. He just happened to be in the store at the time, which raises the question: if you're a part of it, why are you fucking in there?
It's a good question.
Why did he need to be in there at all?
He never communicated with them one-on-one, huh? Like during the robbery, he never was talking to anybody one-on-one as far as collaborating on the robbery.
No, he was in there earlier, and like Clive Owen threw him on the ground because he didn't want to, or something happened.
And that's probably why in the end I was surprised.
Same rules apply to everyone, Rabbi.
Yeah, I do remember that. Huh, interesting. I thought it was cool how they were, like you were saying before, the interrogation scenes, when the way they approached everybody, like they approached the old lady a different way, they approached the Hasid guy in a different way, they approached the younger dudes in like a different way. They were always just like, yeah, you did it, or tell us about this, tell us about that. Those were really fun scenes. I thought those were really well written. Those are probably the best written parts of the movie.
Those were cool. And they were shot really cool too, with whatever kind of process they did with the film. It was pretty cool.
So the scene where they use the squib and Denzel walks out is a Spike Lee staple of him kind of on a track, and he's kind of just moving, and the camera's doing the opposite thing.
Every Spike Lee movie.
Yeah,
I was about to say like that was the like signature Spike Lee shot for sure.
But that was a great moment for that to happen. Like that was a great use of it.
Super out of place and weird, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was cool. What was interesting is the very first scene when Clive Owen's talking directly to the camera, and they do that kind of dolly zoom toward him, and it brings out the wall behind him really close to him. I don't know if that was on purpose to show you the wall that he's behind, but
Maybe,
I
yeah.
thought that was interesting. I watched it
Yeah.
second time. And I liked how they were all named Steve-O or Steve or Stevie.
Yeah. That made me laugh, actually, when I watched it. I didn't remember that either.
Stevie. That's the most genius part.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the little
it's
things.
probably the best bank robbery movie since Point Break.
Point Break. That's a movie I forget about a lot. That's a fucking classic film.
That is good.
Also starring Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel Reeves.
So anyway, what can we agree on? We all hated Jodie Foster's character.
No, she was the
Willem
best.
Dafoe should have been a little more eccentric.
I don't agree with either of those things.
Speaking of how it was shot, even though we weren't, I liked that I read somewhere here that they use Steadicam inside the bank and a handheld outside the banks. The DP said it was about 80% either Steadicam or handheld. And then other than that, there's a couple techno crane shots for when they were releasing all the people and whatever cool shots like that. Otherwise, 80% was either Steadicam or handheld.
Yeah.
Steadicam inside the bank because it gives you kind of a
Fluid
everything's under
motion.
control and very calm kind of feeling. Whereas when you're outside with Denzel and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, it's all handheld. It's all a little more confusion, a little more visceral.
Yep.
That was cool.
Yeah, and
the shooting was great.
Liberty.
The DP was, or the cinematography was really fucking solid.
Yeah, Matthew Libatique, the DP, he does all the Aronofsky movies and a lot of Spike Lee movies, and he's just really, really good, especially with handheld. He's kind of a handheld guru. And the part that I noticed the most when it came to the Steadicam was in the end after the robbery's done and they go in to check the place out. The way the camera moves at that point is pretty amazing. Like it follows Denzel at one point, and then someone will walk past, and it'll slide through another door. And I was like, "Damn!"
A lot of long shots too.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is Spike Lee at the top of his game. This is one of his best films, really, as a director. It's just he really fucking killed it.
Yeah, it's like one of his top 20.
This is a follow-up to 25th Hour, right?
Was it?
That's another movie.
I feel like it is.
25th Hour is in my opinion.
That was also early 2000s, I believe.
Yes, 2002, 2003. Yeah. 25th Hour is my favorite Spike Lee movie by far.
Yeah, these are definitely in the tops for me.
Yeah, I mean Malcolm X and He Got Game and probably Summer of Sam are the only ones I'd put in next to him.
Black Klansman's pretty great.
Black Klansman is good. I forgot about Black Klansman.
Do the Right Thing's pretty great.
Never
seen but I think He Got Game and Malcolm X are better than both of those.
Never seen any of those three.
What? You never saw He Got Game? You gotta watch He Got Game. That's a classic film.
Yeah, He Got Game's really good.
That's a fucking
even this year. Did you guys see the Five Bloods?
What is it?
I watched the Five Bloods. Yeah.
I thought the Five Bloods looked great, but I was drawn out and boring, and the fact that they didn't use younger actors annoyed me.
I thought that was an interesting choice.
I didn't like that.
But it was a choice. It definitely could have been shorter. Definitely could have been shorter. I think it was like 2.5 hours. Could have been less than 2. So,
yeah.
But it was. I still like
the history was right. The history was.
You know why it was so
that's what it was about.
Because Netflix lets people now make whatever they want. I mean, Alfonso Cuarón got to make Roma. Scorsese got to make The Irishman. They let Spike Lee make The Five Bloods. They're like, do whatever you want, however long you want it to be, whatever you want it to be. Just fucking do it. And you know what? You have to earn the right to do that. Those guys have earned that right. And I think that's fucking awesome.
I wonder how long that Fincher movie is gonna be about Orson Welles.
It's gonna be super fucking long, I'm sure. And it's gonna. You know what's cool about that movie? It's shot like Roma in digital black and white.
Who's playing Orson Welles?
I can't remember, but Gary Oldman's the main character. The movie's about the writing process of the movie Citizen Kane. It's about the screenwriter's collaboration with Orson Welles, and Gary Oldman plays the screenwriter. That comes out, I think, in December on Netflix.
It's more about the screenwriter.
A more boring sounding movie, but I can't.
What? What do you mean? I love movies about making movies. They're the best.
Fincher. I mean,
Fincher.
Yeah,
you would have think
that's why it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Because it's
you would have thought.
It sounds
lame.
I mean, there's other two movies that
sucked, right?
Listen, Gone Girl and Social Network are two movies that I would have thought sucked unless Fincher made them too. So
Yeah, Fincher or like Roberto Benigni.
Roberto Benigni.
Sure.
Oh man, yeah, I like this movie a lot, man. I really did. I thought Anthony was gonna love this movie. That's why I picked it. I was like, because the whole things of your last on the last one, you're quoted as these aren't the type of movies I thought we were gonna watch when we did this podcast. So I was like, well, I gotta find something he's gonna love, and I thought this would have been one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a standard movie.
No, what standard? There's no standard about it. It's good, man. It's an above average movie by far.
Sure, it's above average. I'll give it above average. Give it like
It's a great movie.
it's definitely like above 5 out of 10.
Yeah. I guess if I was rating it out of 10, I'd give it a 7, 7.5.
I probably would higher.
Solid 6.
Dude, a 7 out of 10 is pretty fucking great. If you can accomplish that, you've done very well in your life.
Wow.
Especially with making movies.
Would you mind illustrating your
Okay.
chart for us
I'd give it an 8.
for us non-movie knowers?
No, I'm saying think about movies though. A 7 out of 10, that's really good. Like that's hard to get.
Are we on Rotten Tomatoes yet?
What?
Are we on Rotten Tomatoes yet? Do we count yet?
No.
What do you mean? Like, well, our
When will our
count towards the rating?
yes?
Yes.
When will our opinions matter? I don't matter till I'm a tomato.
What? How do you be a tomato?
Yeah, how do you get to be a tomato?
I don't know.
I think you just gotta sign up and fucking rate it yourself, right? That's all it is, isn't it?
Maybe.
I think that's it. those aren't like critics. Those are people like us that are rating that.
Well,
There's
they have both
meta
sides.
scores. Yeah, there's the meta score, which is critics, but the tomato is just like regular people.
Do you
No, I
know
think
how
it's
many?
the other way around?
Do you know the?
Is it?
I think so. I think the Metascore's people and the thermometer's the critics.
Oh, okay.
I think. Who really knows for sure? There's no way to find out.
Wow, I got it right here.
You definitely can't Google it.
There's no way to find out.
The audience score is a solid 85%. And then what the tomatometer?
Thermometer.
Whatever.
85. That's good. See, I said 80.
The thermometer is 86.
Ooh, see, right there.
Yeah, great food. Great fun. Great fun.
But the
Oh,
thermometer is
high
only
eights.
207 votes, and the audience score is 351,483.
It's about the same.
Anyways, fuck this movie. Fuck Jodie Foster.
I like this movie,
Yeah,
but
this
did not
definitely
care
high
for the
on my
Jodie
list.
Foster scenes.
This is pretty high on my list.
Well,
Also high on my list.
Yeah.
let's check it out, you freaks of nature.
List boys.
Jake, where is it on yours?
It is actually going to be right under Creep.
Nice. That's about where mine is too.
So number 6.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna put mine right before Blood Simple and under Blue Velvet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It is also 6 for me.
All right.
Anthony.
Number 9.
Number 9. That's pretty
Number
good.
9.
It's pretty high.
Yeah, it's
for,
better than
that's
a lot of
true.
other these
26.
dog shit movies we've been watching.
You love most of them.
Hey, get ready for another Korean film next week, I'm sure. So,
Oh, I can't wait. I've already watched.
Actually,
I've
I
already
really,
watched half
really
of
hope
it,
it's
and I
not,
love
but
it.
I got a feeling it's gonna be.
It's gonna be
It's not
Japanese.
Korean. It's Japanese.
Oh. Is it the Takashi Miike film you were talking about?
It is.
I'm
13
actually excited about
Assassins.
that. I like
13
this movie.
Assassins.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
On Hulu.
I already watched a little bit of it, and I already like it better than this movie.
Okay,
Good.
that's cool.
Good.
It's also 4 hours long.
Mm.
It's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
Whatever.
Any last words on Inside Man? One of the worst bank robbery movies of all time.
Yeah, I feel like Watch it because it's a very, very good movie.
Yeah, it was really good. It was one of the best bank robbery movies ever.
Probably the best.
All right, can we just look up some bank robbery movies real quick?
Let's
Yeah.
talk about some bank robbery. It's a good.
Well, we named a lot. We
Good
got
idea.
Heat, we got Place Beyond the Pines. We got Point Break. I think as far
All
as
those are better than this.
well, though, as entertainment value, they match up, but as clever and smart, they do not compare.
But
as
it's
far as-
not. It's not a realistic scenario.
Dude, why though? I think building a wall in a room where no one would notice because of the room it is.
How would you not notice that room
smart.
smaller?
How did you see the room? It was a storage.
Yeah, I saw
room.
it. I saw it. How would you not notice it was smaller?
You're
People
telling
go
me
in there
if you
every
went
single
into
day.
that room after that bank robbery, you would have been like,
100%. If I went in that room, the janitor would know.
janitor.
The janitor would
Oh
fucking
my
know.
God.
He goes in there every day.
We're watching movies. Movies are made to entertain. They don't have to be the whole infrared light thing. You can't get past that. Why can't you get past that?
What's the
It's
infrared light
fun.
thing? Oh,
What?
yeah, because that's stupid.
It's not stupid. It's fun.
The way it took out cameras, it like disabled them. Because infrared light does fuck with cameras just because it's bright light, like when it shows up on video. But
it didn't
it
do
doesn't
it. It
take
didn't,
out.
it didn't
like,
take out the
cameras like
camera.
it.
It only
Yes,
let
it
it. It
did.
only let it happen for I think they said a minute. It was only a minute it lasted.
No,
They
I don't think
say-
that's right.
No, that's what they
They
said.
mentioned it only.
They mentioned that it's a
fucked
minute
up for
or
a
two
few
because
minutes.
Do
So
you
he goes
see
for-
how? Do you see when he lights it up? What the camera does? It shuts off the camera.
But
That's stupid.
It says in the movie that it only lasted for a minute or two.
Who cares how long
I
it
think
lasts?
that's
It's
just-
not a
that's just-
real thing.
That's just movie shit.
Yeah,
That's
but
just-
we're watching a movie. you
Not a
love
real
Star
thing, dude.
Wars, right? I mean, Star Wars ain't real.
Yeah, but Star Wars don't try to be real.
Okay, this movie wasn't saying
Star Wars is
everything that
set in
happened is
a
fact.
different
No one
galaxy a
ever
long
does it.
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is set in New York. In the
Okay,
90s.
but no one says that everything that happens in this movie has to be real. That's not how it works.
Well, it should be a little better than that.
What?
Spike Lee could have done a little more research. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. You know what? I'm gonna research that and see if that's possible.
Research it. Go for it. Go for it,
I'm gonna.
Schwartz.
I'm gonna.
I'm
You should
looking
Google
at
it right now. Google it. Go. Can you shine an infrared light at a camera and shut it off?
All right, let me Google it.
I'm looking at some bank robbery movies that might be better.
All right, go
Hit
for
me.
it.
All right, but these are a little different because they're more like movies about bank robbers that are like series of banks, so they're not necessarily one specific bank. But anyway,
What?
all right, you know, like
the
this
fuck
was.
are you talking about?
What?
You know how some movies are about bank robbers, and it's just like a bunch of different banks get robbed throughout the movie. Is that the same as this?
Like Bonnie and Clyde?
Yeah, like Bonnie and Clyde, or like
Dude, if there's a movie where people
Assassination
rob
of Jesse James?
okay, it's
Okay,
just-
listen to this. Listen to this. Ready? I typed in do
Go for
infrared
it.
cameras
I'm
shut off
listening.
do infrared lights shut off cameras? And he said, unfortunately, the answer is yes, and it applies to all surveillance cameras. If the criminals using infrared illuminator, powerful LED torch light, or even a reflective board, the camera cannot catch the image during the nighttime.
Sure. Does not shut off the camera though. Does not
But it didn't
shut off the camera. Yes,
camera.
it did.
It
Watch
just
the
made it
movie.
so they couldn't see.
Watch it back. Watch it back. We'll watch it right now. I'll bring it up right now. Watch it back. You
Bring
see
it
the
up.
you see the
Bring
screen
it up.
shut off as if the camera was shut off. I'm not.
No, it's
I
like
know.
it's
I know
blinded.
it.
It's like
I know.
shut
No,
off.
it didn't blind it. It shut it off. I watched it. I thought that's dumb. 'Cause it does. It does. It would blind it if you had a bright enough IR LED and you blasted it toward a camera. I've seen people wear hats with IR blasters on them,
Heard of
and
that.
it has like a star that blinds the camera. We can't see their face.
I've heard of
Does
that.
not shut the camera off. Hey, it doesn't matter because I mean, yeah, you're right. Peter Parker's
It's
not
a
actually
movie.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. It's a movie. So Jay,
But
continue
I
with
fucking
your
hated it.
bank robbery films.
Baby Driver's pretty good.
Baby Driver, yeah, it's not more clever than this though.
It's pretty clever.
It's fun. It's
Hey,
fun.
hey, listen, my word was clever. I'm not denying that it wasn't a clever idea. I just don't think it's realistic.
I probably
I
enjoyed
think
it more.
Heat was more realistic.
Heat is more realistic in that they didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Yes, they
That's how
literally
you
just
rob
walked,
a bank.
they walked into the bank, robbed it, and walked out. Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty clever the way they did it. Had they pulled it off.
The music made it pretty clever. That's for sure. It gave it such a great feel. And that's probably
noir heist.
That's probably the best shootout in a movie ever too. Is he?
100%.
What about Hell or High Water? It's a good bank robbing movie.
It is a good, but it's not better.
Yo, what's that one?
All
What's
right.
that movie? It's not a bank robbery movie.
There's
But
The Town.
Fucked up movie.
The Town is a great movie, but although The Town is just as entertaining as this movie, it really is.
I hate Boston accents.
Really? Well, then you fucking hate The Town. The Town is just
That was your Boston accent.
Okay. I don't know. That's all I got. Maybe The Old Man and the Gun, but this.
My boy's wicked smart.
I don't know. I like the movie. Whatever.
Other than Jodie Foster and lasers
I think
and
Jodie
camera.
Foster was an incredible cunt, but other than that, I liked it.
I love that was a line in the movie.
Well, yeah, I'm not just saying that. I would never say that words.
I hate Jodie Foster, dude. It's fun.
I like Jodie Foster. Favorite Jodie Foster movie?
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
Boom.
Sneezy one.
What's the one where she plays a 14-year-old prostitute? Taxi driver.
Taxi driver.
Is that the one where she goes into Korea and tries to free a bunch of slaves?
No, that's A Taxi Driver.
No, that's right. You
Also
know what?
stars
I
Jodie
would like
Foster.
to watch that movie again. Let's watch A Taxi Driver again.
Please.
Talk about it again. Just have a second episode on A Taxi Driver.
See if Schwartz's opinion has gone up.
It's a great movie.
It's good.
Especially the more you see it.
You've watched that movie more than once?
Twice.
More than twice?
I don't think so. I think just the twice.
So yeah, I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot of great bank robbery movies.
We just named like 10. Literally.
I still think this is one of my favorites for sure.
It is the best one by far.
Yeah. It's got a clever story. Got a clever way. It tried to be clever.
It's
it really
smart.
tried.
I forgot about Point Break. Point Break is
Best.
classic.
I mean, it's one of the best
Point Break
movies
is
ever made. Period.
Really great.
You know what? I'm not going to argue that. That movie's incredible. Patrick Swayze, dude. Come on. Patrick Swayze should get the Oscar for best character ever.
The President masks. There's like that's all that shit's dope.
The Town took from that.
Yeah.
Wicked smart.
The Town is an amazing film. That's Ben Affleck's best film as a director by far.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you didn't like Argo?
I did, but The Town's way better.
Yeah,
You
Town's
won.
better. Argo's good though.
But he won awards for Argo.
He won Best Picture, yeah.
Too bad it was a moving picture. Haha, you lose. Anyway, any last words on this dog shit movie?
Watch it.
Yeah, wasn't that bad. It was good. It was a good movie.
Top tens all around. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Top
pretty
10. Thank you for listening to another episode of Making Me Watch Movies. Inside Man, top 10 for all of us. Making Me Watch Movies, MMwM_podcast, Bodacious Drew, DRU for the Big Cat. Shout out to the Big Cat. Next week, we're watching 13 Assassins, Takashi Miike. Available on Hulu. Watch it or don't. Either way, tune in next week to see what we thought about 13 Assassins, wherever you listen to podcasts. Bye-bye.